What's going on, guys? This is Nick with Reef News Network. In today's video, we're going to be trying a new type of content called the Community Spotlight, where we're going to show off someone who has either been an exceptional member of the reefing community or just has an awesome tank to show off. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Zeke Sanchez. Zeke is 13 years old and lives in the great state of Arizona. This past weekend, I got the opportunity to visit Zeke and speak with him and his father. I hope you enjoy watching this month's Community Spotlight. Most people probably don't think you can keep a reef tank in Mesa, Arizona, where desert temperatures reach over 120 degrees in the summer. Not only is Zeke keeping an amazing reef tank in his home, he's also changing the reefing community around him.
So one day Zeke came to me and he said that he wanted a fish tank, and so we went and bought a 8-gallon BioCube. And I came home and my wife had told me, why do we buy such a small tank? And that's when the madness began, right? So the very next day we came home and got a 32-gallon, and we made a lot of mistakes, right? And it wasn't until one day my friend Dan Shepard, he called me on the phone and said, "Bro, what are you doing? You don't put an Achilles tang in a 32-gallon BioCube." Right, and so then that's really where like the mentoring from the community started, right? They were part of a couple of different groups, and the very first coral was actually given to him. There was a little contest, and Zeke won, and next thing you know, we're meeting a lady and her husband in downtown Phoenix for a weeping willow coral, and we still have it here in the tank, and that was the very first coral we got, right? And the madness began. Everybody started, Zeke, they have frag swaps and stuff, and Zeke would go to the shows, and somebody always had something for him, right? Or they would, if they knew he was just getting started, so they would deeply discount it. And slowly but surely, his collection started to grow, and his success in his tank obviously shined, right? And it started getting bigger and bigger, and even today he'll go into a store, and instead of him asking people questions, people are asking him questions now. "Oh, you're Zeke? Yeah, tell us, what about this coral? What about that coral? What should I feed it? Where should I put it in my tank? What about this fish? Is this fish compatible with coral?" And like I said, for a long time it was Zeke asking people questions, and a lot of people, helping Zeke and coming by the house, and you don't know how many 911 calls we've had to different people in the community that a coral we bought by mail showed up and it was almost dead, and they've helped us bring it back, and now people are doing the exact same for him, right? He's like carrying on the legacy. So it's pretty cool. It's a great community here in Arizona.
When you started?
11?
Yeah, so when he was 11 years old, was there any I don't know if this is the right hobby for an 11-year-old to be getting into?
So it was very expensive at first, right? All of a sudden I'm buying this expensive tank, and I'm buying salt, and I'm buying sand, and I'm going to the different stores, and he really stepped up and did it all on his own, right? He, like I said, he'd sell lemonade to be able to buy water, change water. He would clean people's pools in the neighborhood. He started. I have a neighbor who's a lawyer, and Zeke started folding his letters that he was sending to his clients for 25 cents a letter, and he would stamp them and send them out, and all that money went to his tank. So it really went from me supporting Zeke to him supporting himself. And it's pretty cool for such a young kid to have such interest in in any hobby.
So my name is Zeke. I'm 13 years old. I've been doing the hobby for about 3 years. So my tank is a DSA 105. For my sump, I have an eShops. I forget what size it is. I want to say it's a 25-gallon sump. And I've had my tank since October, so maybe around 8 to 10 months that is. Alright, so for my lights, I use Hydra 26s. I have 3 of them on this tank. For my skimmer, I have a Red Sea skimmer, and then the way I control all of it is through my Apex Classic and my Apex Breakout box.
That's awesome, yeah. So I see in your tank you are using sand versus a bare bottom tank. Why did you choose to go bare bottom? Or why did you choose to go sand over bare bottom?
So I was always kind of like, I think it'd be cool to have a bare bottom, but at the same time the sand provides a lot of nutrients for the tank. And I was also just scared that the rock could fall and the tank could crack too.
So how did you do your aquascape? Is it all just a super good balancing act in there?
Yes, it's
no
a
glue? Nothing?
yeah, no glue or anything.
Oh,
So
man,
if it does,
on the edge.
yeah, it was definitely an interesting way.
So when you set up the tank, did you use dry rock or live rock as water?
We decided to use dry rock because I've always wanted like the purple looking rock, even though now that the tank's established it doesn't really matter anymore. But I thought it'd be cool to just try something different since we've always tried live rock.
So last year we had one of our neighbors was he wanted to go to church camp. I get a little bit emotional because it's a very cool story, right? And Zeke was outside selling lemonade, right? 25 cents a cup. All he wanted to do is send his friend to church camp. And he happened to put it on the page that anybody that wanted lemonade, come on by, you know. And there's a guy in our group called Francis, and Francis started it out. And he said, hey, and you know, I'm gonna start a raffle, and I'm gonna raffle off this really cool NIM, right? And then other people started, you know, pitching in, and we'll put this into the raffle, we'll put that into the raffle, and they ended up raising enough money in the raffle for Zeke to be able to send his friend to church camp. They bought him school clothes, they bought him a backpack, and they actually had enough money to pay for 2 years worth of church camp. It's pretty cool.
I'm really not sure. I've kind of thought about wanting to be a marine biologist, but I also think it'd be really cool to own a store. But again, I think keeping like your own tank and be able to like buy, sell, and trade with the community is a good thing.
That's a good plan, man. So I have kids who are, you know, 13, 12, even 11. Where do you give them tips to, you know, get into research?
So definitely do your research. Don't get a small tank at first because small tanks are really hard to take care of. What I've heard is usually get the biggest tank you can afford, but don't go too crazy because you got to start somewhere. Definitely don't buy anything too expensive because if you don't know something, then it might die or you might not have the best success with it.
Well guys, as you can see, Zeke not only keeps an amazing reef tank, but he's also changing lives. If you want to keep up with Zeke and see what he's up to, you can follow him on Instagram at Zeke_Sanchez. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this new community spotlight thing we're doing, and as always, keep on reefing.